The air is thick with tension in Laker Nation, as one of the most electrifying chapters of recent purple and gold history teeters on the edge of upheaval. Austin Reaves, the scrappy underdog turned beloved star, stands on the precipice of free agency, and the unfolding contract saga could redefine the Lakers' roster construction for years to come. Welcome back to Lakers News Fan Report, where raw truths collide with purple and gold passion. Smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so your heart never misses a beat. Reaves burst onto the scene in the 2021-22 season with the heartbeat of a role player, but the soul of a future cornerstone. Much like the relentless hustle of Kobe Bryant early in his career, or the pivotal secondary stars like Derek Fisher and Robert Horry, who defined the Showtime legacy and powered the three-peat era alongside Shaq and Kobe. But make no mistake, Reaves' evolution has been anything but typical. Last season, he exploded into a bona fide secondary star, averaging over 20 points per game with 5.8 assists, 4.5 rebounds, and an impressive 1.1 steals per contest, all while knocking down nearly 38% from beyond the arc. His offensive gravity and defensive grit recall the late career peak contributions of players like D'Angelo Russell during their prime Lakers tenure. Yet now, as he eyes a contract in the Tyler Herro neighborhood of reported $30 million annually, he has placed the front office in a complex bind that echoes the salary cap quandaries the Lakers have wrestled with since assembling the LeBron, AD, and Russ core. Remember the delicate balancing act Rob Pelinka orchestrated around LeBron James Supermax and Anthony Davis Max deal, or the tough financial chess moves during the 2020 bubble championship run that demanded sacrifices yet yielded gold? That era's lessons loom large over this negotiation, as Los Angeles confronts the limits of luxury tax tolerance and the need for a supportive cast around their emerging face of the franchise, the unstoppable Luka Doncic. But here's the under-the-radar bomb no one saw coming. While the Lakers are widely expected to lock Luka into the richest deal possible, cementing him as the one true superstar to build around Reaves, demand for Herro-level pay threatens to break the bank on a roster that might prefer to spread the wealth among mid-tier talents like Rui Hachimura, Jackson Hayes, or even in-season pickups like Gabe Vincent and Max Christie, all vying for meaningful minutes under a retooled rotation tailored for playoff durability and seeding supremacy in the cutthroat Western Conference. This raises a crucible question. Do the Lakers double down on Reaves as the secondary ball handler and emotional anchor of the locker room, the everyman fan favorite who embodies the gritty spirit of past role models turned stars? Or do they risk financial paralysis that stifles flexibility and forces painful cuts or buyouts? The echoes of past trade rumors swirl. Could a blockbuster deal involving veteran wings or draft capital be on the horizon to free cap space? Or is the front office playing a high-stakes game of chicken, waiting for Reaves to blink first? And with the Western Conference landscape shifting daily, every decision carries the weight of legacy. As a lifelong Lakers believer, my pulse is racing just writing this, because this moment isn't just another contract. It's a high-stakes gamble that could tilt the entire balance of purple and gold history. We're staring at the precipice of a decision that either ignites the next title run, forging a new identity rooted in strategic brilliance, relentless hunger, and the kind of team cohesion that makes champions immortal, or it fractures our carefully constructed dynasty, a crack splintering through the dreams of fans who have lived through every era of glory and grit. Think about it. We've seen the Showtime magic dazzle the league and define an entire generation. We've witnessed the iron-fisted dominance of Kobe and Shaq, steamrolling opponents on the way to 3 straight titles. We've felt the cathartic rush of 2020, a championship in the bubble that carried the weight of a grieving franchise, a city in turmoil, and a global pandemic. Each of those moments wasn't just a win, they were milestones, emotional anchors, and proof that the Lakers could adapt, evolve, and rise again no matter how many times the league tried to bury us. And now, we may be on the cusp of adding another chapter to that story, or watching it unravel in slow motion. This isn't just about numbers on a contract or cap space on a spreadsheet. This is about how the decision ripples through the locker room, through every handshake in the tunnel, every huddle in crunch time, every whispered conversation between teammates trying to figure out if the mission is still clear, still shared. Do we have the courage to take the leap, knowing that the wrong move could leave us scrambling for years, stuck between fading memories of glory and the cold reality of mediocrity? Or do we risk nothing, play it safe, and watch the fire slowly dim until we're just another team hoping for lightning to strike twice, The truth is, the Lakers have never been about playing it safe. Our history is littered with bold swings, jaw-dropping trades, and moments when the entire basketball world stopped and asked, did they really just do that? We live for these inflection points because they're the crucible where legends are made and pretenders are exposed. The question gnaws at me, at all of us, because deep down, we know these decisions don't come around often. They're the rare crossroads where the past, present, and future all collide, and the path we choose will echo for decades. Will this be the spark that unites LeBron's relentless will to win with AD's defensive dominance and the hunger of our young core? Will it be the catalyst that draws the next superstar into our orbit, solidifying us as the epicenter of NBA power once more? Or will it be the slow leak that drains the magic, the unraveling thread that no one notices until the whole fabric comes undone? This is the razor's edge we're walking, Lakers Nation, and there's no safety net. Every cheer, every groan, every ounce of faith you pour into this team becomes part of the energy that carries us forward or leaves us stranded. But is this truly the ignition point, the first spark of another golden run, or the hairline fracture that will split our legacy wide open when the pressure hits its peak? Drop your unfiltered takes in the comments. I'll be right there, heart in hand, ready to ride out the storm with you, no matter where it leads. You can feel that thud in your chest? That's not nerves, it's the sound of purple and gold destiny kicking down the door. Because what we're watching right now is the kind of blood-buzzing, soul-shaking moment that shatters the calm and rewrites the whole damn script for Laker Nation. Austin Reaves, the guy who came from absolutely nowhere and clawed his way into our hearts with relentless grit and buzzer-beating bravado, stands square in the crosshairs of a contract showdown that can either crown him the blueprint of the Lakers' future or blow up the whole roster blueprint like a ticking bomb in the Staples Center rafters. Now listen close. This isn't just about dollars. It's about dynasties. It's about whether the Lakers can, for the first time in years, stitch together a roster that's more than a collection of superstars and max-heavy contracts, a team hungry and deep and smart enough to take the Western Conference no matter what chaos the Warriors, Nuggets, and Suns throw our way. Picture this. The negotiating table starts sizzling with Reaves at his camp-dropping hair-level numbers $30 million a year, and a contract stuffed with player options that could tie the Lakers' cap hands in knots for years. You know what that means? It's way beyond just a few less mid-tier guys. This is about whether Rob Pelinka's front office pulls off the kind of alchemy that turns salary cap limitations into championship gold, or whether they become the latest in a long, sad list of Lakers regimes stuck squabbling over pennies while the rest of the league stacks up bodies and futures. And let's be brutally honest, the Lakers have been on this roller coaster before, all the way back to the bubble, when crunch time meant sucking in hard, cutting loose role players, and praying the LeBron-Kuzma combo could close games. That relentless hustle and scrappy genius got us the title, but that was bubble magic, a unique symphony of dysfunction and opportunity. This is a full season, no filter, where once the spotlight hits the hardwood, there is no room for missteps. Now imagine the locker room, a delicate ecosystem fueled by egos, loyalty, and painful sacrifice sitting on the edge of a knife. Reaves, the locker room heartthrob, the scrappy spirit animal channeling echoes of Fisher's quiet leadership and Horry's clutch DNA, now becomes the centerpiece in a puzzle the Lakers weren't sure they had the pieces for. Will LeBron James, who has lived through cap hell, front office tantrums, and the glory do-or-die of the Shaq-Kobe tandem, buy in again with a guiding hand? Or will this push tensions simmering under the surface to a boil? Anthony Davis, that mercurial titan whose Achilles fragility has haunted playoff dreams, needs a cohesive cast that can ease the load, not one unbalanced by financial fire drills that force sacrificial lambs and unstable rotations. You can almost hear the hum of anxiety pulsing underneath the fluorescent glow of practice gym lights, the whispers through the hallways suggesting that if the Reaves deal breaks the bank, the Lakers might be bleeding assets, maybe the draft pick haul that once felt like a safety net, but now looks like an IOU to the future. And here's the clause in that deal nobody's talking about. What if Reaves' contract includes a no-trade provision or early player options? That tie Pelinka's hands tighter than ever. That's a stranglehold on the roster's evolution, a slow choke on flexibility that could prevent maneuvering if LeBron or AD face their inevitable season sidelined by injuries or rest. The Western Conference doesn't pause for any of this drama. The Nuggets, smelling vulnerability like vultures, have Jokic quietly sharpening his MVP home killer instinct while Murray's flashes of genius remind us that Denver isn't waiting for the Lakers to get their cap issues sorted to pounce. Phoenix, with their own brand of relentless youth and veteran savvy, crafts lineups that swing from lethal shooting to suffocating defense like a Houdini act. All the while the Clippers and Warriors watch, knives gleaming in the shadows, ready to exploit any crack in the purple and gold armor. And here's the nightmare scenario drilling through fans' minds. If this contract saga spirals into stalemate, or worse, a cold war of front office brinkmanship, what happens to the chemistry that makes this Lakers team more than just a collection of names? Can you imagine the headlines if the locker room fractures? If veteran voices start questioning the calculus of loyalty and investment? When the money's pushed to the breaking point, the ghosts of Showtime's throw around Let's Go-based fiery competitiveness. Shaq's dominant swagger, but even those legends needed the right pieces and the right timing. Right now, it feels like the Lakers are staring into an abyss where history's lessons warrant a pay cuts, side deals, and mid-season shakeups that can sink title hopes and leave fan bases howling in despair. And yet, picture the other side of the coin. What if Pelinka pulls a rabbit out of the organizational hat? What if some quietly orchestrated blockbuster frees up enough wiggle room to sign Reaves? Without gutting the team, could LeBron, the king, agree to recalibrate his role, become more of a facilitator and mentor to this rising star, morphing the Lakers back into that lethal, unselfish juggernaut that racked up quadruple-double playoff runs? The possibilities flicker like neon. You can almost taste the electric tension in the air. A coiled spring that has the entire city on edge, waiting for the snap. There are whispers already, rumors thick as smog down in LA, scouting reports of trade offers circulating for Jackson Hayes, or calls inbound on Hervo John Keek's defensive potential. All gambits to fine-tune the rotation. Here's a thought that terrifies. What if the Lakers are forced into a brutal choice between keeping Reaves and gutting fan favorites like Rui or Max Christie, fracturing the delicate balance of youth and experience critical for deep postseason runs? The old scars flare the 2019 to 2020 saga of assembling stars at all costs. The crushing luxury tax bills, the near misses that stretch LeBron's legacy thin like a fraying rope. The tension hangs there, palpable and suffocating. Somewhere in the shadows, you can almost hear the echoes of the past, those championship battles, the silent prayers of Lakers fans holding their breath. As the ball spins on the rim, will it drop now or bounce away? This moment is different. It's a roller coaster blasting full throttle through the twists and turns of money, loyalty, legacy, and the raw, burning hunger for glory. And after every fresh report, every insider whisper, there's a new question gnawing at the soul. Will the Lakers emerge from this firestorm stronger, a reborn dynasty ready for the cutthroat war to come? Or are we watching the slow fracture of a dream, the beginning of a painful unraveling that starts with one tiny contract and ends with a diminished legacy? The fans across the city, from the echoes of chants beneath the Coliseum's roof to the buzzing energy of Hollywood's purple and gold night spots, are locked in this fever dream. Because what happens here isn't just basketball, it's the very identity of what it means to bleed Lakers purple and gold. As a Laker till I draw my last breath, I can feel the earthquake rumbling under this season. Now tell me what's rattling your soul, because the firestorm hasn't even peaked.